Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging podcast discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Caccera, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Caccera.
Welcome in. This is Joe Caccera with Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series. I'm here with Buddy and Bobby, as we are on Fridays. Good to be with you guys.
Good to be with you, too,
Happy
Joe.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
A lot of stuff going on, and this crew's getting ready to leave to Hawaii this week, so I'm going to be jealous during this little podcast, but I will make my way through it.
We'll see if we can get a little information about golf and what's going on in Hawaii.
That's true. That'll soften the blow a little bit.
We're up
for that. Well, we'll send you photos. There you go.
The world travelers. That's what you know about these two. All right, we're going to get started. Our topic today, home repairs owners shouldn't delay. We're going to talk about that. Before we do that, just a reminder, if you have any needs in real estate, buying, selling, you just need someone to sit down and really understand, pick a person's brain about real estate, that is Bobbi Decker. You could reach her at area code 650-346-5352, or you could go to email her, I guess, at Bobbi at bobbidecker.com, right?
Right.
Or
no E on Bobby.
Visit the website at bobbidecker.com and no E on Bobby.
Right.
And if you need any financing on the purchase side, refinance, I could help you on that side. You could reach me, 408-838-9060, or you could always go to reradiolive.com. All right, let's get started. Home repairs owners shouldn't delay, and just timing would have it. After all this rain, here we go.
Beautiful rain.
Here we go.
Beautiful
Gosh,
rain. We need it.
These hills are so green, Joe. We're driving down to do the podcast with you. They're
Look
gorgeous.
Pretty. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
We need it for sure, but it's good timing for this and a great topic because there's so many different things on that we should know about. You shouldn't delay on home repairs. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. And we're going to get started. Bobby, going to get us going?
Well, home repairs are always critical because they're taking care of your investment.
Exactly.
So if you defer or delay, you are now fooling around with your investment.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't fool around. Well, some people do with their stocks and bonds, jumping in and out of the market. But with an investment that you have to live in, keep your family safe in, yada, 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 you want to make sure that you do these kinds of repairs. And you're right. Water is one of the areas where if you're not doing good maintenance, you're going to have serious, serious problems. And right now, I just can think of that one little rhyme or jingle that goes, water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink.
Yeah.
You mean it's down in your walls?
That's right, your walls, your cellar. It's just really bad. But your gutters, they are the number one asset to your home. You've got to keep those guys clean, keep them cleared. And everybody, I hate to say over 50 because I don't want to see anyone on a ladder, but truly, if you're one of the seniors, get off the ladder. You know,
hire a young guy like me to go up there.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Well, last year, Buddy was hanging lights, and of course, I ran off to Orchard Supply. Got to tell you this story. And I come back, and this gorgeous poinsettia that I had bought. Joe, it was the poinsettia of the absolute lifetime, right? It was gorgeous. He had fallen off a smaller ladder, and he landed and squashed it. Thank goodness it was there to break his fall. But I'm going, you squashed my perfect poinsettia? And he's like...
Doesn't matter about your broken back, Jack. You squashed my poinsettia.
Oh, my God.
So anyway, I'm getting back to the rule number one. Do not get on a ladder without a partner standing there to catch you.
Would you have caught me?
No, I don't think I could have. I would have broken your fall as you
would have called for help.
Me. But it's true. So get those gutters clear.
Yep.
Hire somebody who can do a really good job. Because a lot of times, I'll tell you what they do, Joe. They clear it to where the drain comes down.
Right.
And all those leaves get stuck in the drain.
Yep.
The downspout.
That's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens.
And they go, but I cleared them. And they go, oh, to the downspout you did. And then another great thing is putting those screens up there. Because that'll keep your leaves and your squirrels and everybody else from running around in those drains, because they have a big fun time in there. Leaks get into the wall cavities, and you can't see them. So that leads to mold. We just had one in my complex. It had been leaking for years, Joe, and no one knew it, and they had to have mold remediation, and we all know how expensive.
No, that's not
Anything
good.
that has remediation after it is expensive. And so you come in, you repair all the walls, and then forever and always, my friends, you must say that at one time you had mold in the house.
Yeah.
That is the disclosures in California. So do it before you have to put it on every single disclosure. That will affect you. Mold is probably the number one thing that affects the value of the house. Because when people see it, they get scared, even though and Buddy will talk to that later. But there are tons of different kinds of molds. There's that little black thingy you see hanging around your shower, and then there's Staphylococcus or bacillus, whatever it is.
But
it's
careful.
black
I'm going to
mold.
tell my story.
Okay, it's black mold, and you don't want that ever. All right, and then, of course, water against the foundations can erode your foundation.
Well, Joe, you had an event that relates to this perfectly. Why don't you fill us in?
I did. I left Friday early on purpose because I wanted to, even though I thought they were, I wanted to double check the drains and the gutters. Sure enough, and I have the screens on, by the way. But I got up there, and even though those screens are on there, what happens? A lot of residue and stuff and dirt and stuff still builds up in there. And sure enough, most of them were clogged up enough, and I cleaned them out. And then took an extra step, which I'm really glad I did after all this rain. When you go around your house and your property, keep an eye on, even if the gutters are working properly, here's what a lot of people miss. The downspouts have to be away from your house. Because if you have an area that's especially around dirt and right up against your house, and the water just puddles up, and guess where it's going? It's going right underneath the house or right up against the house. And so I had 3 occasions where I had to go buy some of the extended the things that the adapters, if you will,
you put them
that
on,
come away from
Sometimes they're plastic. They lay flat until they fill with water.
Right.
But it'll take your water 3 feet or more away from the house.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So make sure you do that. It's not too late. It looks like actually we're going to be getting a break later this week for 4 or 5 days. So that I would recommend people get out there when it's safe and dry, and check the gutters, the downspouts, and the extensions away from your property.
Yeah, there seems to be some continuation of all the water in the forecast coming up, so it's a very smart thing to do. This show is pretty timely in that regard.
Yep.
There's also the water spots that you can kind of see in the house. Bobby mentioned the fact that there's some real big issues when you get into mold, so I have to tell you a story, and Bobby even permits me to tell you this story. Usually she cuts my story short. I was the foreman on a jury that had a mold case. It was in a condo complex. So there were 4 attorneys, one for the complex, one for the insurance company, one for the management company.
Oh, boy.
And one for the person who brought the charges against the management company, the insurance company, and the homeowners association.
That was not a cheap date.
No. So I thought I was going to get away scot-free. I am like number 49 or 50. They went through all 49 and 50, and I wound up as the last guy on the jury because they have the right to, each one can kick 6 off. So what surprised me the most, this is another story perhaps, is they kicked off anybody that had judicial experience.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
They didn't want anybody knowing the law.
Wow.
Well, that would get in the way, wouldn't it? But the reality of it was a 2-week trial with all these experts, all this stuff about mold, because this lady had concerns that her asthma and other things were affected by this. And it turned out with all the information that they gave us, and that's why I was trying to remember the right names, she couldn't prove that there was mold there.
Oh, boy.
She just couldn't prove it, even though they went on and on and on and on, and we had to find that the homeowners association and the maintenance company and the management company rather, and everybody else was not held in harm's way. And unfortunately, she had some severe reactions with mold. But it turned out, as simple as that may have all sounded, there's almost the same amount of mold that was outside that was inside the house.
That's what I was going to say, because my
Very
background is science and my biology, and what Buddy's talking about is not a coccus, it's a bitri. It's like Stachybitridae. It's a weird name. But anyway, it is. But the bottom line is it floats around in the air all the time.
Right.
And depending on how you are. And the younger generation, Joe, is more susceptible to things floating in the air because they were raised so hygienically.
Yeah, no,
remember,
that's a good
now they're
point.
saying, let your kids eat dirt.
Yeah,
let them eat a bug
like
or
we
two.
Did. Yeah, those bugs were good.
Toss them in a classroom with a bunch of sick kids at least once a month.
Hey, listen, my friends are so sick. Their kids went back to school, and they came back with the germs, the kid germs, and now they're all down for the count.
So, folks, if you see a water spot anywhere in a ceiling or on a wall,
yes, have
get
it
on
checked.
it right away, because that could have been a whole different issue. It had been a pipe above her kitchen that was leaking very slowly over the years into her kitchen. But it was spread out enough, and apparently there were dry enough periods that it didn't form a real aggressive mold that was culpable in her particular problem. So if you see a spot, get on it.
All right, we have about a minute before our first break, and we're going to talk a little bit about decks before we take our first quick break here. So review the decks. That would be railings on the porch, steps. Be really careful. Sometimes, again, with a lot of rain, this stuff can get wobbly really quick, and a lot of times you get settlement.
Yeah.
And things could just change immediately. I mean, just look at the news. Look what's going on. All of a sudden, roads cave in and there's slides. And not to be overly dramatic, but it's true. When you get a lot of rain in a short period of time, a lot of stuff could happen. So keep an eye on everything in regards to that. Decks, loose screws, tighten in a few places. Get someone in there. Don't ignore them. There's all this stuff. Again, you hold on to these rails when you come and go in the evenings or during the day or when you don't have much light. The other thing I'll say about this, you guys, as we work our way through this important topic, is that make sure you hire someone that knows what they're doing, right?
Exactly.
There's some people that are really good handymen or women, right? There is.
Yeah.
But if you're not, gosh darn it, hire someone that knows what they're doing.
And if they're knocking at your front door around 7 or 8 o'clock at night looking for work, you probably don't want to hire them.
Exactly.
Because that is not how you find. I mean, you've got that Angie's List. You've got a whole bunch where they say that they vet them, but you need a contractor, guys. We almost burned down one of our pods because somebody hired a handyman to do electric, Joe.
Yep.
And had the people not been home and looked up and saw flames coming through their ceiling, that would have been a whole different story. I mean, we laugh, but oh my gosh.
Yeah. And railings and those kind of things. There was some news back a while ago where a deck collapsed and people were
Oakland,
killed.
right?
So
Berkeley, rather.
These kinds of things, maybe in a residential home, we're not going to have that kind of height, but you could. I mean, some of these places in Belmont that sit off the top of or off the side of a hill, I mean, they've got some decks that really hang out there. There could be some real issues if you're not really conscientious about taking good care of your decks.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. Again, the conversation, the topic today, home repairs owners shouldn't delay. I'm alongside Bobbi and Buddy. We'll be back with you in just a minute.
For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com.
Today, Sotheby's International Realty operates in the San Francisco Peninsula and Silicon Valley. They offer exclusive Sotheby's International Realty marketing, advertising, and global referral services designed to attract well-qualified buyers to the company's property listings. They also add new technologies to the 200-year-old tradition of exceptional service, such as their Lifestyles website. Visit them at svlifestyles.com for those that are interested in some of the finer things in life. From exotic cars to yachts, fashion, finance, food, wine and spirits, there is video that fits all those lifestyles and more. svlifestyles.com. In addition, the company and its clients benefit from an association with the Sotheby's Auction House, which promotes real estate referral opportunities with auction house clientele. Visit them at todaysir.com or call 650-597-1800. 650-597-1800.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's topic or guests, just visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series. I'm sitting alongside Bobbi and Buddy. Topic today is home repairs owners shouldn't delay. And we're going to continue this conversation about some really important things to keep in mind. Just as we were taking our first break, you guys, we were talking about how important it is to find someone. If you can't do these things yourself, some people are really good at them, right?
They are, but what brings to mind is I have a couple of senior clients that moved up to Del Webb, and people know that they're senior when they live in that community.
Yeah, right.
And they'll go to door and they'll say, and for just a $200 retainer, I'll do such and such. And my client happened to call me out of the blue and say, what do you think? Do you think he sounds reputable? And I about had a heart attack, Joe. I said, no. She goes, well, I can see there's some dry rot or, my wood's looking like it's not up to snuff. I go, that's when you call a termite company. Everybody who's listening, termite companies are regulated. Pest companies are regulated. They're supposed to look for fungus, supposed to look for dry rot, and for little critters.
Yep.
But they're not limited to little critters. And they're governed by the state. If they mess up, Joe, you go and you call. And you just say, excuse me, they said they were going to do this and give me a clearance and they didn't do it.
Right.
Do not. Please, it was going to cost you so much more. And the bid that the termite company gave her was at 1/3 of what the bid was for this knock on the door person.
Yep.
So they'll take advantage of seniors. No. So now that we've done that, chimneys. Joe, if you got through the deck and you haven't been washed away by the water, now you're snuggy in your living room or your family room or the master bedroom and you've got your chimney.
Well, hopefully chimneys in all three.
That's right. That's romantic. Romance, although they're trying to regulate those out too with no more wood burning. But even the gas is pretty. So bottom line is clean them out. If you do have wood burning, you've got creosote. Even if you've got the Duraflame logs, you've got creosote. They should be cleaned out once a year. And whether you use them or not, you should clean them out because guess what they build? Buddy, this is a test on our last listing or 2 years ago listing. What do they build in chimneys that are not used?
Was that the squirrel nest chimney?
Yes.
Yes, and you've had others. You've had
and
birds
they
and
went
chimneys.
to clean it, and 2 little dead little bodies came
that's
out.
not good.
Not good, but they're not the brightest mothers. They're just trying to keep their kids warm. And my client was like, "How can that happen?" And I said, "Well, you've never used it."
Some problems with this podcast, I think.
You think?
Well, the animal rights activists.
But I didn't build it.
If they had put the proper cap
on
that
See,
chimney,
Joe,
that's
this
good
is it.
too.
If they
That's a
just
good
played
point.
by some simple rules, those squirrels would have never gotten in there.
That's
Never
right.
gotten in there. So put the screens up, guys. Please put those screens up, even if you have a gas.
And educate
just to
your
keep
squirrels,
the little...
by God. Come on, educate the squirrel.
They're proliferating.
There we go. Boy, we're really
Who
sharp
was it?
this year, aren't we?
Jessica Sarah Parker. Do you remember the show on, what is it? Sex in the City?
Sex in the City, yeah.
Yes.
Remember when she was taken out into Lake Tahoe, out to the country by her boyfriend, and a squirrel ran across, and she went absolutely bonkers about this squirrel outside, and he goes, "It's just a squirrel," and she goes, "As far as I'm concerned, it's a rat with a fur coat on." Said by
Very good.
Jessica,
Very
Sarah
good.
Jessica Parker. I've got her name backwards. Yes, Sarah Jessica Parker.
The City Life ladies.
The City Life ladies.
So get your chimneys in order.
Get them in order
Yeah.
because truly, you don't want a rusty. And that Buddy said it again. If it's a rusty spark arrestor or cap, it will leak down into your chimney. That leaks down into your walls. So there you go.
Okay.
You've got all that mold growing that you don't know. So I would have my home checked every 3 to 5 years by a home inspector. They charge anywhere, depending on the size of it, from $500 to maybe $1,500.
Good idea. Very good idea.
Depending on square footage, and the pest control guys, because they really don't crisscross each other.
Right. Well, even Joe, when you talked about water against the house, one place where the foundation, if it's compromised around the chimney, and you wind up with cracks in your chimney, and you start a fire, that's why that inspection is sounds costly, but may be worth an awful lot when your house doesn't burn down.
Well, there was a fire in the Los Altos Hills. They go, oh well, never happens, because I paid so much for my house. They did a total remodel, and no one paid attention to the chimneys. They started fires in 3 rooms, because I guess there was one in the master family, and it burned down, Joe. Oof. It was a party. They did it for ambiance.
They put the fireplace on for ambiance.
And there were some problems. I can't imagine that, and that was about 25 years ago or 20 years ago. So now maybe you can't even do that you have to have the chimneys checked before you even do a remodel.
Well, most home inspectors take a look at that, right?
They do, but you need a chimney inspector to really know if those are just kind of surface cracks or if they're going into your infrastructure.
Okay. All right. More about using the right professional. Okay. I'm going back to one more water issue. Leaky faucets or a toilet that's running all the time. Now, that might not mean a whole lot in one home, and we in California have been going through some serious drought problems. This recent rain is going to help some, but I'll bet you with some of those reservoirs that I've seen that are down 100 feet or more, that's still not going to solve the whole problem. We're still going to be in a situation if we get a hot, dry, long-lasting summer. So, one little leaky faucet doesn't seem like a whole lot, but then you add up a lot of people that aren't taking good care of it. That can mean a lot of water going to waste. And a constantly running toilet, the amount of water that goes to waste, those things need to be fixed. They add up in your water bill, number one, so you're going to see some of that. And number two, it's a horrible waste of a precious resource.
Yes, it is.
We have to take better care of here in California, but we're not alone. Last year they had drought in the Northeast. My brother was telling me about some problems they were having because of the droughts going in the Northeast. So those faucet situations and other running water situations need to be closely monitored. Even outside faucets can go up against the foundation again, like you were talking about earlier. If that drip, drip, drip keeps drip, drip, dripping, that adds up to some real water that can add up to some real problems.
Right. No, it does. There's a lot of stuff here. This is I was thinking when we just started this, and we just have about 3 minutes left here in the show, but what came to mind is, and we're going to talk a little bit about how important it is to reinvest in your home, where, best thing is to get money out of your home to reinvest in your home, but a lot of people will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on bathrooms and kitchens and remodels and stuff, but yet they won't take some time to check the gutters. It seems kind of funny, huh? When all that water could stay away from your home and that investment, you just talked about the same one. So, my gosh, remember the preventative maintenance and the things that really are important around your house. It could change the investment. It really can. And speaking of that, also just a reminder, if there's major work to be done, you guys, one of the things that I would encourage people not to put that off. Let's say you have some water damage, or maybe you have to add some extra space, or you're going to do something where a complete bathroom, maybe the floor's out. You got to do, look at financing, look at potentially refinancing to pull money out to do that. I've always told people, I'm a big believer in this. The best way, one of the best reasons to refinance and take money out of your home is to put the money back in your home.
Absolutely. And that's why the reverse mortgages are so good. And that's why they call Joe. Because I'll tell you, don't borrow against your Visa. That's 23%.
No, don't do that. Don't pull out of your 401k. Don't take for investments. No.
It's still only 4 or 5%.
Right.
I mean, it's still cheap money. And you need to get your double and your triple pane windows. Because that's insulation and it's noise abatement. And don't talk to me about hearing freeway noise, Joe. You hear it everywhere. Because in case you haven't noticed, there are freeways here in the Bay Area everywhere. Yeah. And then, of course, insulation will help keep you nice and warm. And then make sure you keep painting your home. You don't paint it every 20 years.
Good point.
Yeah, so those are nice little things to improve your asset.
Yeah, I mean, just to review, we have make sure that you kind of do an inventory, if you will. And, Bobby, I think you mentioned, I think it's a great thing. We just had it done on both of our properties. A home inspector, pay someone to come in. You haven't had it done in 3 or 4 years. Have them do a complete checkup. I mean, it's what we do with our bodies, what we do, we recommend. In your business, my business, we tell people all the time, and so we need to practice the same ourselves. So I would say, as kind of summarizing this, if you guys have anything to add, take a good look at your house around, do some maintenance, figure out what needs to be done, hire professionals, people who have good reputations, and don't be afraid to reinvest in your own investment.
Don't be penny wise and dollar foolish. That's a big New England saying.
Penny wise and pound foolish.
Pound food?
Pound foolish.
Did I get that quote wrong?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, got it. But penny wise.
That's right. All right. Again, thanks for tuning in today. The topic was a good one. Home repairs, owners shouldn't delay these things. Do us a favor. Give us a review. Tell us what you think. If you have any suggestions, ideas, thoughts, go to reradiolive.com. Until then, take care.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Discover more at reradiolive.com.